Hey you guys, it's Rick from beautiful Key West, Florida. Um, I'm at the end of the day, so I decided I'd have a little chat, let you know I'm doing fine. I am working, and I'm working on a painting that's called Wrath. And a friend of mine is opening up a restaurant, and it's called the Seven Sins. And it's really just a burrito place, and it's just, I guess you can do hot, cold, or mild, whatever. But anyways, he's let different artists paint different things, and I'll wind up doing a picture of it. I'll show you how it works and what it looks like. But it's cute. I helped a friend of mine do one that is about, what is that, when you're eating a lot, damn, it'll come to me. But there's one in there of a sloth, which is really cute, and there's one in there about, lust. His was, what is that, gluttony? That was one where got all these fruits and food eating each other and chasing each other around. So it's kind of cute and on the kind of cartoon side, not really serious. And so, he just asked me, he said, would you do me one? And I said, well, what do you got left, And so he said, Wrath. I said, wow, I've been learning a lot about wrath. And he said, sure. So I drew up this idea. And it's just so funny because I've got, this devil, a really mean devil. And later on you'll see it, but I can describe it right now. But there's a brain behind him, and it's in like a 3D. He's standing on the brain, and he's got a vacuum cleaner. He's pushing the vacuum cleaner with one hand with the string going through and holding on to the other. And he's really mad. And he's in a little waiter, or not a waiter, what do you call them, a maid's outfit, and he's just really mad. When it's all done, it'll have that. So it's kind of cute, and he's been made to clean up, and I told him that this is what it really means. I don't know what they really wanted me to do, like with boom bombs and stuff like that. I told him that I teach this, and that there's no way that I could continue to paint lives, I can't, I don't want it just for their own sake, I just can't do it. And he said, well, paint what you want. And so, he's cleaning the left side of the brain, and he's very begrudgingly doing this. And, of course, going on behind him, there's going to be water first, and there'll be fish in the water, and then there's going to be air, and there'll be birds and fowl in the air. And then I have this little bit of fire that's around the outside of it to be like a frame. And, of course, that's the final chakra, right? When you get fire and brimstone. Those are 4 stages of consciousness. And it's really cute. But it takes all the hell out of it, literally. And I don't think that they mind. I think that, I just told them that's the way it was going to be. So I got going on it, and it's mostly all done. It's what they call the ugly phases. It's about done. But anyhow, I'd like to say that these teachings that I'm doing, they're getting, just easier and easier every day I wake up with an idea, and if I wasn't so busy, like this morning, a lot of Jesus things popped into my mind. Trying to settle scores with people that are still using the hate speech and what mankind is, and what is a man, and thou, and really looking at the scriptures and seeing the newer versions of the Bibles, watching as I see what the King James Bible says and what the new revised King James Bible says, and it's different. This one here sounds more like the real life outside world. And I just think that it's just a shame. I had a great conversation with a friend of mine, and I was wondering how much I should be talking about this, and teaching this or something like that. And she says, well, in the book there are apostles or followers, and then disciples that they become teachers. That they're disciplined in this, and we were talking Buddhism and. All these things, But anyways, it's nice finally to have someone to talk to about it. She's a masseuse. And she introduced me to a bunch of other people that are really cool too, So we all have something, we all are like little interesting pieces of light, that have a different piece of others, People have died and they give you this idea, or they have special skills, and of being able to touch and to find out what's wrong and to help heal you and stuff. This is a neat environment. But I'm sure in the Dark Ages it would be wound up and, burned at the stake, for even trying such things. But I found out that, women used to be the ones that operated on people. They're the ones that kept track of the zodiac. And, I just listened to a bunch of gals. And the wonderful things that come from the gal is amazing. It really is. And you'll find that they've always, only a few real women know that they know there's a woman somewhere behind mother and father, the little child. Everyone thinks it's Mary. I tell you, it's the dove. They hides behind the dove. But we all recognize very much that religion in itself does help people. It does, and it doesn't hurt me to say that. It does help people. There's a certain amount that if it were used correctly, it governs you pretty well. It makes you want to think of things. But it's just the idea that it makes you think, perhaps. But when it's used as a tool against you, which it is, then it doesn't make you think. It stops you from thinking. And so you could see where even the Bible itself was gotten control of, but it still matters not, because it was been interpreted as a hate thing, and that it was that the Jewish people have always had this Jewish army. The Christians, they have what? Catholic, the Crusaders, that was their army, and they went around killing all kinds of people, real life, being just like the book. And if they didn't convert, they were killed. But they didn't understand the idea of converting was to just sit down and meditate. But those guys were doing it. They were sitting down and meditate. That is a sin. That's not. We don't do that anymore. It's like Moses yelling at the guys for the bull. What you'll find is that each age has had their own little thing going on. Moses comes down from the mountain, and his people are worshiping the bull. This is Taurus, the age of Taurus. But it's no longer. He says that's the old one. What's next is Aries. So they've got the lamb. And, that's where they are. And then we move on again to the next group of people, and then you get Christianity, and the Pisces. And so you'll see that as the ages progress, there's this new thing, new something. And it's all governed by, Aries or whatever we're in. I tell you, it's just how it's been made. That's how our science has been made. But here's your doom and gloom. I don't see anything past this Aquarius. The age of Aquarius, there's no more. There's like, what is this for? Jesus and Pisces, the double getting known of the personalities, the duality. The fish, Pisces, are your feet. What's above, what's below. Aries is the head, and Taurus is the throat. Gemini is your arms, the twins. You see, and your feet all the way down to Pisces. What's above, so below, so you're part of these things. That's why when they talk about the number 4 being worlds, and that's your world, the world that you live in, that has to govern your spiritual side and your intellectual side, your physical side and your emotional side. It's all governed by you. So you understand that all of these people in these Bibles are really just you. And when you sit down and you read that Bible, and you can tune an ear to it, and you can see what I'm telling you, and you can understand all the business that bring the 3 together, and that's a neat blessing. It's like 1 foot out of hell, perhaps, just to break that ice, to understand it finally. And that it no longer becomes this like, what? Lot gets screwed by his 2 daughters, So when you learn, you find that it has nothing to do with sex. There's no sex involved. It's all about how a person goes about joining with this other part inside of you, joining with the child, which would represent you as the Lamb of God, that you sacrifice it. It's your blood on your shoulders. It's your blood on this. You're the lambskin. And it's your name. Whose name is on there? If your name is not on the lambskin, you're not getting in. Do you understand? There's no book up there where you've done something wrong, like Santa Claus and all of that. This is some crazy ass thinking. But if that's what keeps you in tow, that's great. But you miss out on the idea that God says that, don't I call you gods? And Jesus says, well, how can you call me Lord, Lord, if you don't do as I tell you? So he says, you can't call me Lord, lords, He tells us that we were made in his image, that we were this beautiful, we were the children of light. And that, without them, without us, without this temple, that they would not exist, And they tell you how important we are, But if you, and equally that whatever he can do, you can do, because you're made in his image. That even better things. But do they taught you that? No. They tell you that you're not worthy. You're not able, and you're just not worthy, not unable to maintain or contain this God. And it's a shame. And for you guys that like to thumb down videos, this is for you, enjoy your poverty, I still myself will go through these poverties, I got to, but at the same time I'll have a way of cleaning out. And that, perhaps poverty, me and poverty will be like, two birds in a cow's tail. It no longer becomes something that defines me or even hurts me. The poverty, where I'm at right now, is a blessing of some kind, So I can see where rich people can't do this. They can't take the time out and spend silly stuff with you. They can't let it encroach on their job and stuff like that, But someone like me, who lives real close to the ground, to come on like 2 feet off the ground, outside, smelling, walking around right into the group of it all, yeah. This is where you want to live. This is where it is. Get some information from them. But anyhow, I think I found a new Mandela today. And I know a bunch of y'all don't give a damn about Mandela effects, but maybe a couple of you people, maybe that's why you're here every now and then to hear something, because I only stumble on it from time to time, and I'm not keeping track of what other people have been doing. And because it's distracting. It's just another thing, in this stupid little world of ours. But it's weird, it's happening, I'm not saying it ain't happening. Alright, so maybe you guys would know or not. You could ask, you could tell me. Because when I hear something, I like to share it, and I don't have anyone to share it with. So I want to say it. Because my friends think I'm nuts already, But they buy me all my drinks when I go out. I say, yeah, it's your fault. I blame you. All bets are off after this third drink, motherfuckers. Oh, Cinderella's Castle. I grew up in Florida. We used to go to St. Pete, from St. Pete to Orlando. It was about a 3 or 4 hour drive. But I remember it as Cinderella's Castle, because it just was the way it was. It was her castle. And and I only just recently figured out that they got different castles in different places. They're not all Cinderella castles. So this one's like Snow Whites and Sleeping Beauties or something all over the place. But the one here in Florida is called, well, if you look at it, it's called Cinderella Castle. There's no S. It's Cinderella Castle. Cinderella Castle. So that's my man. That's the one that I think has changed, and that's how it is. It dumbs up things. Whatever this Mandela thing is, it just stupefies stuff. And like we are slipping into something stupider. If we can, if that were possible. So here I'm, bloop, bloop, coming up above all the rest of the turds, and just as big a turd as everybody else, except now I'm an enlightened turd, you know. Yeah, well, a lot of good that gets you, Teaches you how to fix things for yourself. All right, well, anyways, happy Saturday, you guys. I think I'm going to go and have a couple of drinks or something, some more karaoke tonight. Oh, when I got this picture, I'm trying to put in a poster for Fantasy Fest this year. They win $1,000 if you get it. They make a T-shirt of it and everything. And I got it right over there, and I'll show that to you too. All right. Anyways, best to you guys, and let me know if you think about that Cinderella's Castle. You ever heard that with apostrophe S, or was it Cinderella Castle? But that's the way it is. Ticky ticky ticky. My search engine said apostrophe S, but when you went to the site, like to Walt Disney itself, it all to Cinderella Castle, so I guess that's what it is, I love you guys. Take care. I'll be back with a real lesson soon.